Welcome everybody. Today we are going to talk about DataLab, the new tool by DataCamp. DataCamp is known for a site where you can learn skills in programming, machine learning, data analytics, data science, like learning R, learning Python, Tableau, Power BI, and AI skills, cloud computing, you name it. And they now have a interactive notebook tool called DataLab, where you can actually write code, create plots, do analysis, access databases, and it comes with an AI assistant. So we're going to check it out, and I'm going to give you a brief introduction into the system. You need to head over to datacamp.com/datalab. You need a DataCamp account. It doesn't have to be a paid or premium account. And once you browse to the site, you will run into an overview, something like this. There will usually be your first notebook created for you. And we're just going to rename this to Demo Workbook. And you have different options up here. This is the AI chat, which might not, point you in the right direction from the start, because you will see analyze bicycle inventory as an example, or analyze ticket sales. But if you haven't seen the DataLab before, you will not know what that is. But I can tell you there are some sample databases in the background that you can access and do analysis on, and this is how that would work. But that doesn't actually works good if you're starting from scratch. So I would recommend we head over to the code pane, where you can basically write, like in the Jupyter notebook, R code, Python code, or SQL code. And you have your environment here, and we're gonna check what environment that is. And I am going to change this to an R environment, because I want to work in R and not Python. So it will basically start like a virtual environment for you. Like, you maybe know, if you know Google Colab, then this will be similar. And if you need more computing power, you can see here we have 4 gigabytes of RAM and 2 CPUs. If you would need more, then we need to upgrade to a paid plan. But for now, we can use up to 3 workbooks for free, which is pretty nice, and they work pretty well. So what you can do is, like in your regular R script, R Studio, or Python notebooks, you can write text, code, create charts, and use SQL code. So let's just create a sample R script just to show that it works. I'm gonna import the dplyr package, and I don't know, maybe create some random data to analyze it. So I'm gonna set some seed and create a data frame or a table, and we want, I don't know, we can some data about plants or something, I don't know, just create some sample data. We need a like a factor, like a group variable, like plants that grow in the forest, plants that grow in the desert, and maybe plants that grow in the ocean. And let's make 100 of those, and of course we need to replace them. So we are basically drawing a random sample, and let's say we want to measure like the species count and the size of some species in the forest, in the desert, in the ocean, whatever. Okay, just so we have some data. Okay, species count, again a sample of 1 to 50. Okay, I'm sorry, this will take a while. Maybe I should just have loaded some demo data, but I'll be done in a minute. And we will have some, I don't know, some average size that we measured in centimeters, and I don't know, some random distribution, a uniform distribution, again 100, I mean, 200 should be fine. All right, and we want to round this for 2 decimal places. That should be it. And maybe check out our data frame. All right, so, and control return should run the cell. You can also click run. And we see, okay, that kind of works, I guess. So now we have some data. And you can see here with the plus, like maybe you know it from Jupyter Notebook, you can now, I don't know, create another R code and load the ggplot to library and do some, I don't know, some graphs or some visuals on, I don't know, maybe the average size or whatnot, or maybe just okay, what could we do? Scatter plot doesn't make sense really here. Maybe we just, give me a second. So maybe we could do, where are we? Okay, do a ggplot of the data and say, I don't know, the x-axis should be how many species there are, the species count, and the y-axis is the average size. And let's color it by the ecosystem. Okay, capital letter, bit inconsistent, ecosystem. All right, and just do like a scatter plot. Again, control enter, and there we go. Okay, so it's really easy. Like in RStudio, you can work, you get your plots, a lot of libraries are installed. I'm not sure how it works for not pre-installed packages, how to install them actually. There are environment variables, is something different, but you can see there is really a lot of stuff, like I guess everything you will ever need, like dplyr, ggplot, etc. So basically everything you need. Okay, so far so good. That's like the regular R stuff, okay? But what's with the AI assistant here? I'm just gonna delete that cell again here, and let's add, or let's ask the AI to, oh wait, I want to do it down here. Let's ask the AI, I guess it's like the GitHub Copilot, you know, like plot a scatter plot of the species count versus the average size in centimeters colored by the ecosystem using ggplot, maybe. So we can specify what package we want and hit Control Enter. And let's see how that looks. All right, it's pretty much the same I just did. And let's try it out. Control Enter. As we can see, yeah, it works pretty nice. So instead of fiddling around and writing the wrong variable name, the AI could basically do more or less the same. So I think this is a pretty good way to get to a result very quickly, you know, writing your code and using this AI assistant here. As you can see here on the left, we also got files where we can basically upload data sets like CSV files, Excel files, and then we are able to access those in our code, like in the Python or R code. So we can try this out as well. I have some real data from, I think, a wage overview in Seattle from some years ago. So we can upload that file here. And now it's there. It's a CSV file, so we can see it's comma separated. And in our notebook, as we can see, it is basically a Jupyter notebook in Python. And by the way, if you don't know this already, you can use R code in Google Colab as well. I have a video on that, so maybe check out the channel video listings. All right, now how can we access this file? You can even, as you can see, query that file using an SQL or just load it as a data frame, basically. So we can do just that. So this is the code. It figures out the read CSV file and just Control Enter to run it. And we can see this is our data frame now. All right, pretty neat. We can check the structure of the file. Let's do structure of wage data Seattle. And we can see this is the data frame with numeric values, characters, etc. So just how you would use it in RStudio. All right, so far so good. I am going to delete all this now and just quickly show you how to use the databases. As you can see here, you have this data icon, and they have some sample databases, 15 sample databases with sometimes well-known data. Another like bicycle sales. I think the London Public Transport or the Lego database is known. We have some soccer data and the world nations, which is quite interesting. And I'm going to show you how to use that and how to connect to your own database. And in the first step, let's just use one of those sample databases. You can just click on one like the world nations and connect to the database like you would to an actual database server. And as we can see here, we have 7 tables in this database. And if we click on, let's say, countries, we can see those are the columns here, like country ID, the name, the area, nation, national day, country code 3, and the region ID. So there are some regions, and they have a name, and the continent ID. So I guess the continents, we have continents. Within those continents, we have regions, and within those regions, there are our countries. All right. And here we have country stats, like the country ID, the year this stat has been documented, I guess the population, and the GDP. All right. So maybe let's take this table here. And if we want to query this table, we can just click Query Table, and it will give us the SQL code. And the nice thing is, if we run this code now, we can decide if it should be stored in a data frame directly. So it's very convenient if you work with databases now. Just hit Control Enter or run the cell, and you will now have a data frame in some seconds. You will now have a data frame. It will be called DF, I guess. There was one hint how to use it's right here. And you can see available as DF, or in this case, available as country stats. All right. So this will now be a data frame you can work with. Or, like, I don't know, maybe make a histogram of the population in the year, I don't know, 1980 or something, of all countries. So we can access the country stats. We would access the population. However, we don't want the histogram of all years. Let's say we only want, I'm gonna do it the old school way, which country stats dollar year equals, let's say 1980. Why not? All right, so a small filter here, just the year 1980 and the population, and then a histogram directly coming from this database. Oh, I. Okay, not very nice, but you get the idea. Okay. So this is pretty neat, I would say. And I'm gonna delete that cell again. It was really not nice. So, and maybe, we wanna, like, I don't know, plot the GDP, the average GDP, let's say, the average GDP over all the years, okay, with ggplot. And that would require some aggregation and stuff, and I could fiddle around here, and it would take me like, I don't know, 2-3 minutes and some googling to figure that out. But now we can use our AI agent, and let's try that out. Create a plot of the average GDP over the years worldwide. So maybe I'm not even sure if it guesses that it should aggregate over the countries as well, because we want the average GDP. And we say using ggplot. All right. Okay, let's try. Let's see. And it figured out that, yeah, we want to use the country stats data frame we just created. All right. And it's using dplyr functions. The library has not been loaded, so we would need that to do that. This will throw an error, I guess. But it looks good. We group by year and average. All right. Nice. Let's try this. Okay, but we will need the dplyr package. All right. Okay, let's check it out if it works. Wow. Okay. Works. Very nice. Okay. So you've seen, I guess, how this AI agent can really help you get to where you want to go in less time than you would usually need. I mean, the dplyr commands are pretty, I don't know, straightforward these days. But still, sometimes you have to Google, like, what was the name? Was it summarize, or was it aggregate, summarize? I don't know. Yeah. Or the code for the ggplots, the aesthetics can be quite challenging sometimes. Yeah, but this looks pretty nice. Now let's do another thing. Let's say I wanna do the same thing, like the GDP over the years, but grouped by the continent. So we want to have like 5 continents here, 5 lines, colored by the continent. The thing is, the continent is not within the country stats data table. So we only have here the continents table. We can just, if we just query the table, yeah, we will see it here. Okay, and run it, command enter, we see, okay, we have continent ID and we have 7 continents. And the thing is, the continent ID is not in the country stats table. It's only the country ID. So we need to join, that's a database command and SQL command, we need to join some tables. We need to join the country stats table. We need to join it with the countries table. Then we need to, oh no, wait, we don't need to join. Yes, we need to join it with the countries table, because there, let me quickly check this. In the countries table, there is, it's the region ID. Yep, the region ID. In the regions table, we will have, of course, the region ID and the continent ID. And in the continent ID, we will have our continent name. All right. Okay. So we have like 4 tables we need to join to get this done. Am I right? Yeah, we need the country stats, we need countries, we need regions and continents. Of course, you could do that in R. Like create 4 data frames and then merge them using like tidyverse or dplyr. It's also pretty easy, but since we're using databases and SQL code, we can do that in one go. Again, I could now try to, no, we don't want ticket sales, we want to do world nations. We could now try to figure this out ourselves, like, I don't know, select, countries, dot region ID, and then join, or let's try the AI agent. Let's see how good it is. Okay, AI agent. Okay, create a SQL code to join the tables, countries, regions, continents, and country stats to get the stats, let's say GDP and population of all countries. Wait, and the year. We need the year as well. Of all the countries. And the name of the continent. Yeah, something like that. It's not very well written, but let's give it a try. All right, let's see what we get. You know, like ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot are usually pretty good in doing SQL code. All right, it will use country name, region name, and continent name. From countries as C and R is regions, yeah, and CS is the stats, and continents is con. Okay, and it joins. Yeah, looks good, looks pretty good. Okay, let's try this one out. And if we now run this, it will store it in the data frame df. All right, so let's try. Okay. So as you can see, using databases is pretty neat. You can, all right, so we have Aruba, Caribbean, North America year. Looks pretty good, I would say 952. Let's just make a small sanity check, 952. Okay, looks solid. And now, again, maybe I just copy my code from the AI and do it again, because I'm super lazy today. I'm really super lazy. Using worldwide, and now I'm gonna say grouped by continent. Yeah, using ggplot. Create a plot of the average GDP over the years worldwide, grouped by continent using ggplot. Okay, let's. Okay. Now it asked me to upgrade. I guess this you have used 5 out of 20 prompts included in your current plan. Okay, so maybe we should be a little more restrictive with the AI agent. All right, let's check this out. So, okay, it's the same again. Looks good. We have the continent name within, and the color looks good. Okay, let's try if this works. Oh yeah, looks pretty nice. It forgot the points in the last plot. I like the points actually, so I'm gonna add this to the ggplot. So I also want the points, s'il vous plaît. All right, I'm gonna do that again. All right, okay. Yeah, and as you can see, we have now our plot grouped by the continents, GDP over the years. We have joined 4 tables in our database, and you can see how quickly we get things done. So I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with the DataLab features so far. It get things done very quickly. The AI agent is pretty spot on so far. So I think this might really help. Yeah, writing your scripts much faster. In the last step, I'm going to show you how you can connect to your own database server if you have one. If you don't have one, you're not interested, then just skip the video for now. But if you're interested in that, I'm going to show you how to do that. All right. Back at the database overview, we can see that we can here connect to one of our own databases. And so far, we have a lot of services that we can use, like Google Sheets. You know, in Google Docs, you can create like an Excel sheet, Google Sheets, and connect to that and use it as a database table. Or you have different SQL, like PostgreSQL, MySQL, Amazon Redshift, MariaDB, Microsoft SQL Server, Amazon Athena, and Redshift is basically like a SQL database, but in AWS from Amazon. I'm not sure, is Redshift the managed database? I'm not sure about that. Sorry. But I think it's basically like a MySQL database. And yeah, I'm going to show you how you can do that. I'm not going to use Redshift. I have a virtual machine running on Amazon, which is basically a LAMP system, like on an EC2 instance. So it's a virtual machine which has running a MariaDB or MySQL server and also web server. And I will connect to that machine. So I don't know, you have to give your connection name, like demo connection, and you have to like the server address, which in my case will be an IP address. And there is one thing, your server has to be open on port 3306 for incoming connections from these 3 IP addresses. This is the thing you actually don't want to do, really. Normally, you would not allow, I don't know, access from internet IP addresses or computers to your database. Only in, I don't know. I really would not do that, to be honest. But for the sake of demonstration, I will show you how you can do that. Unfortunately, you will not be able to connect to a database server that is running on your local machine for now. Okay, so that will not work. If you have like a local machine running, I mean, if you use SQLite, let me check, is this something SQLite? No, not yet. We could just upload the SQLite files maybe as files and use them. I don't know if that would work, but yeah, if you have a local server that is running on your own machine, it will not work. I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna head over to Amazon AWS, like the virtual environment, the environment to create virtual machines, and I have some demo database server running just to play around with. And this is one of the machines. I installed some, I don't know, some demo some demo database on it, like the Chinook. Let me just quickly access the phpMyAdmin database backend so you can see what the database looks like. So it's just one database. It's the Chinook database, which includes music tracks from artists and albums and whatnot, you know, like AC/DC and stuff like this, and information, albums, artists, media type, and some invoices and stuff like this. All right, this is the database with these tables. All right, and it's running on this server. And if you are running this in a virtual environment or locally, you need to allow access from certain IP addresses. In Amazon AWS, you have a security group, And within that security group, you need to allow for the 3 IP addresses that have been shown here, that those IP addresses can access your database server on port 3306, or your virtual machine, basically. If you don't do that, it will not work, okay? So, all right. Yeah, let me copy the IP address really quick and just paste it here. The database name was, as we can see, Chinook. All right, this is my demo database, and I have created a read-only user. So this user can only read tables like do selects. It will not be able to make any inserts, deletes, or updates. So maybe even if you want to open that connection for a database server, then please make sure the user you have has like the lowest possible rights you can imagine, like only do selects, maybe on one table or whatever. Okay. We really don't want to have our database server out in the open with a user that has root access or something like that. All right. Now, if we have done that, okay, I did forget my name, demo connection. No, what's that? Connection. All right, and connect. Let's try it out. Okay, seems to work. No, I don't want to. And now we have the demo connection right here in our database overview, and we can just hit the connect button, and it will connect to the database. And now we can see we have access to our 11 tables. All right, so we could now do, let's say, I don't know, just query the tracks. All right, hit Control Enter. It will create the data frame named track and load all the tracks from the database table into our data frame. And it now has 351 rows and I don't know what not columns. Okay, so this is very, very convenient if you're working with databases. You have your own data somewhere in Google Sheets in a database. Like I said, the downside is that we cannot connect to a local database. Maybe they will have a workaround for that in the future. I don't know. But you would need to open a lot of ports, and I don't know, that's quite difficult. But if you use like BigQuery from Google, then yeah, that should work maybe. Okay, so you will need to put your database somewhere on the internet in one way or another to actually use it. You know, if you would use like Jupyter Notebook on your local machine, then of course you would have access to your locally running database or a database running in an intranet or something like that. However, I think this is a pretty nice tool because you can also share your workbooks with colleagues or friends, or you can work on them together, I guess. So I think this is quite a nice tool. So I will make a guess that Google Colab will actually see that and maybe follow the lead and add an AI Copilot assistant to Google Colabs in the future, because this is one thing that would really add to the Google Colab environment, because basically this is quite similar. Besides the fact that we have these sample databases and a very quick way to access databases, you know, like with a menu and how to do it. So it's very easy. So I think it's a nice tool so far. You will have some templates here that maybe like point you in the right direction. You know, like I don't know, yeah. Visualize 2D heat map, decision tree classification, data exploration in Python, and so on. So if you're want to see what you can do, maybe check out one of those templates. As you've seen, I'm more familiar with R, so data exploration with R. Let's check this out. Okay, yeah. Oh, they have the tidyverse. So it started a new workbook. I have 3, so 2 already used. And as we can see, okay, this looks like a typical Jupyter notebook. All right, guys. So if you have a DataCamp account, I would highly recommend check it out. DataLab looks pretty nice so far.